Ever wonder what motivates people to get plastic surgery?
Did they regret it?
What can we learn from the weird and wild stuff that happens at our plastic surgery clinic? We're going to tell some stories, get some laughs, and learn on
Clinic Talk with Sabrina Sajan
on the Plastic Surgeon Podcast.
Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Javad Sajan, and of course, I'm here with my lovely wife and CEO of Allure Aesthetics, Sabrina Sajan.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening. Please rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts. On Clinic Talk, we tell real stories of fun, strange, hopeful, and educational things that happen at our clinic from day to day.
Yep, we got a lot of weird and hilarious things happening at the clinic.
You can find the clinic at allureaesthetic.com. So, what clinic stories are we talking about today?
We had such a wild and amazing week. This episode, we're going to talk about provider patients, me paying rent for employees and them running away, employees leaving on bad terms, and patients with medical conditions such as morbid obesity.
So let's start with the first one.
So as you all know, we get so many amazing patients from all walks of life, all careers, and all paths. Our downtown office actually is located across Swedish hospitals, so we get a lot of providers from there. And we get a lot of patients who are providers, right, Sabrina?
Yeah, many.
Many. And, from high-end, very well-known people who do surgery, oncologists, family medicine doctors, even residents.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you all that the provider patients, although they're insiders, they're some of the most unique and sometimes challenging people to work with.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
This one story pops up that I have to share with our fans and listeners. We had an amazing patient who got filler.
Mm-hmm.
Very sweet person. This person is a provider. The filler went amazing. The person loved it. They got it a week before a trip that they had going on, right, Sabrina?
Mm-hmm.
So the patient got their filler. They're home. They're excited. 2 days before the trip, the patient calls the clinic saying, "My face is crooked."
Yes, she is not very nice over the phone and is really upset. And she's, saying all these things. And she's literally said, "I'm coming there right now."
I remember that, and I was in surgery that day, and we made an opening for her to come at the end of my day after my surgeries. And then, I thought it was some kind of emergency because this person's a very nice, smart, capable person. So they come in, and we had put filler in her face. And I examined her and looked at her, and everything looked perfect. It was very little filler. We only had put 0.25 cc's of hyaluronic acid-based filler or something like a Restylane product in one of her folds in her face, and it looked perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then she comes and she tells me, "Doc, I don't like this filler." I'm like, "Okay, I understand. Tell me what you don't like. Show me with the mirror." And she can't point to it. She's like, "I don't like my face." I'm like, "Okay, I can understand that. I respect that. I think your face is very nice looking. Some days I don't like my face also. But that doesn't mean I call and get upset and start yelling at the person who did the treatment. So tell me exactly what you're not liking." And she says again, "I don't like my face. Fix it." So then, I continue my examination. I do a thorough examination. I feel the filler. Everything feels in perfect location. Everything looks great. I sit down and I get the feeling there's something more. Like I'm missing something. Things aren't adding up. I ask her, "So, nice patient, kindly share with me what you don't like about your face." And again, we're having the circular argument, just saying, "I don't like my face." I'm like, "Your face looks great." "I don't like my face. Face looks great." So back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, "Okay." So I'm like, what can I do to make things better? Right? And this is a provider, so she knows how vigilant we are with our patients. We care. Obviously, we got her in the same day of her concern. So she tells me, "I want you to do 3 things." I'm like, "Oh, great. Inside, I'm feeling good." I'm like, yes, some kind of plan, some vision. She's willing to do something, right? It's very late at night. It's 9:30 p.m. Happy to see her. But, I want to help her to get taken care of. And she's like, the 3 things are, number 1, you must give me a full refund for the whole filler, even though I allegedly don't know what I don't like. Number 2, dissolve the filler. And number 3, redo it. So I sat down in my chair, took a nice, gentle breath. And I asked her, hey, nice patient. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that. Are you a provider? And she told me,
Yes.
yeah. And I said, okay, you see patients, right? And she said,
Yes.
I was like, okay, excellent. So if you had a patient come to you, no, then I asked her, did I make any kind of guarantee for you when we did the treatment? And she said,
No.
then I asked her, okay, so you don't know what you don't like, yet you want all these things. Let's flip the script a little bit. If you had a patient who you did some kind of treatment for, um, let's see how you would respond. So I asked her, do you make any guarantees to your patients? She said, no. Then I asked her, if you had a patient asking you for a refund for something you didn't guarantee and they couldn't identify, what would you do? And she told me, I wouldn't give them a refund. So then I looked at her, paused for about 3 seconds, it became awkward, but I wanted that. I wanted all of us to feel that moment, understand it, relish it, taste it. And then I said, okay. And I don't usually do this, but this person was just going on and on. So I asked,
She's definitely being aggressive.
yeah, very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So then I said, okay, so you wouldn't do this. Can you please help me understand why you're asking these things from us? And you know what she told me? She said, oh, you guys make too much money. You can afford it. And I gently said, what does that have to do with any of this? You know, and she had no answer. And obviously now we're helping manage this nice person and getting them taken care of.
And little do you know, this patient only accepts cash.
So, it's a very challenging situation. So the question is, how do you handle someone like this, right? And our number one goal at our practice, Sabrina, and you've really helped embody this so much, is our number one goal is to serve more, do more, and be more, right?
Definitely.
And so when we have a situation like this, I hand it off to the administration to handle, because medically speaking, there's nothing I can do. What do you guys do after this when I pass it off?
So, we talk to the patient, we kind of get their feedback on how everything went. We always, listen to them first, we kind of let them get it out. A lot of times it's just other things that are in their life that's causing them to behave this way. And we totally understand that. So we let them speak, we let them take it out on us. And then we ask them, what do you think we could do for you to make this experience better? It's a variety of things that the patients tell us. And a lot of times they just want one-on-one FaceTime with a provider, an MD, and, they come in and, or they just need some time to settle and think about the treatment and the service that they received, and then kind of self-reflect. And I think that time helps.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when I see provider patients, I maybe hold them to too high of a standard, because I think you're a provider, you know how all of this works, and we're trying to do the best for you. And I think sometimes I myself get a little bit not as patient as I am with regular patients, excuse the pun. Um, because when you have a provider and someone who helps people take care of many, other issues, you would expect that they have a better level of comprehension, a better level of understanding what we're doing and why we're doing it. But that is the opposite. When we have a provider patient, they're actually more aggressive, usually more demanding, and typically they will be least likely to be happy with any treatment that we do.
It's unfortunate.
And we love them all. This patient, she's an amazing patient. We care for her very much. This situation's already resolved. That's why I'm talking about it. It was handled very well. We took great care of her, and she's doing fantastic. But I wanted to share with you all that when we're taking care of amazing people, our number one goal is to do the best we can. No one's putting filler in anyone's face trying to make them crooked, right? No one's trying to do that. We're trying to help them, have them get the best look, best feel, and make them feel good about themselves. And when you look at filler in the grand scheme of what we do, it's like the most teeny tiny little itty bitty thing we do, right? We cut people's bodies in half and put them back together, and that's legit stuff. And this filler is legit too, but on the grand scheme of things, it's got to relax. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. And that was an interesting experience. I never had that level of interaction, but with this nice person, I had to just have them feel what they were trying to do, because I felt it was so wrong. Whether or not our practice is doing great or not great is none of your business. It is our job to take care of you, and we're going to take care of you and do great things for you and do our best to make you happy. At the same time, you have to have a reasonable understanding And just because you're an insider, you can't use that to your advantage to manipulate us and manipulate the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was
And then this story also brings me to another, story about another provider patient that we had. Our estheticians do an amazing job, and they provide great care for our patients. So we had someone that was doing a treatment on a provider patient again, and after the treatment, I see one of our employees crying. She runs out of that room and she's crying.
and this is the employee who is currently pregnant.
Yes. So she is coming out, she's crying, and I'm like, "What happened? Are you okay?"
And she's super nice. I mean, this person is the provider Sabrina's talking about is probably one of the calmest, soothing,
Sweetest.
most gentle human beings who work with us, who literally is holding another child right now.
Yeah, so she comes out crying, and, I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. It was just I had a really rough interaction, with one of these, patients, and, I don't know how it went. They were really upset at me. They told me that I don't do good services, and I'm not thorough enough." And she went on and on about how this person made her, feel bad. And, this provider of ours, she's always had great reviews. The patients love her. They love coming to her. So this was very unusual, for me to hear that from her, that a patient didn't like her. So I told her, "Don't worry about it. It'll be fine." I gave her some water, settle her down. And then I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." So apparently that patient ended up leaving and told her to stop the service right now. And you're not good at your job. And then she walked out, basically.
And this patient who was upset, she's a high level, now he or she, I don't know what they are. I don't know the details of this person, but this person is like a high level provider, right? So they're
Correct.
postgraduate education,
Hmm.
they take care of many people, right?
Yeah, they
Okay.
take care of many other patients as well.
Don't some of our office staff go to this person?
Yes. So a few of our office staff go to this person for other services that this patient provides. So, I told her, I'll take care of it, don't worry. And then it was late that night. So the following day, I give this provider a call, which is the patient provider. I give her a call, and I ask her how everything went. And, I heard that you didn't have a great experience, and I would love to make things better. And I want to hear what happened. And she's going off on the employee that provided the treatment, and she said, she was not thorough, her hair was open, I didn't feel comfortable, she doesn't know her job. I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but she doesn't know what she's doing. And I said to
Hmm.
her, "Okay." I said, "Could you explain to me what she didn't do?" And, she went on, and it was just generic stuff. And she was just upset, and then I offered her, I said, "Would you like to see another provider?" Or I said, "I'm happy to give you a refund, because you did not have a good experience, and you're more than welcome to find another practice if our practice is not a good fit for you."
That's really, so did she take the refund?
So then she stops. She's like, "No, no, 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 no. I don't want a refund." She's like, "I'm a provider myself. I'm so and so." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I said, I understand some people are not fit for each other. And if we're not a good fit for you, I'm happy to give you a refund, and you can find another practice for yourself." And she stopped me and she said, "No, I don't want to leave your practice. Dr. Sajan is so nice. You guys are so nice." And let me tell you, she's never met Dr. Sajan before. But I said, "Okay, sure." I mean, I was like, if I'm happy to, keep you at our practice, and I just want you to be happy and you to have a good experience. And so then I offered her to get her another treatment that I completely comped. And I said she can come and see another provider, and maybe that experience will go better. So then I scheduled her for another treatment with another provider of ours. And then after that, the day I let the other provider know this individual is a provider. Please be gentle. She had a bad experience last time, and take good care of her. Then that day comes, and
Did she give a hard time to this new provider, Esto?
she doesn't show up.
What?
Yeah.
So after all of this whole phone call, this whole complaint, making somebody pregnant cry, she doesn't show up to the free treatment that you set up for her.
Yes.
Did she call and give a heads up?
No, nothing. I had to cancel the other provider's lunchtime and switch it to another time to accommodate the time that worked best for her because she wanted to come at lunchtime. I'm guessing because she's a provider and she had that time, off during the day. So she wanted to come out of her lunchtime. So I had to move our employees' lunch to another time so we could accommodate her, which is perfectly fine. We were happy to do so. She doesn't come. The provider's waiting, 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes go by. We call her, no answer.
You guys text her and all that?
We texted her, no answer. We emailed her, no answer. And then we never hear from her.
That's weird. I don't get it. We love our patients. We love all of you. Thank you for being a part of our practice. We just highlight some of these unique stories just because they're sort of funny. And
then one of our employees goes to her office and
yeah.
We're gonna leave it there.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Yeah. That's gonna be too much. So all we can say is we love all of our patients. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being a part of us. And sometimes if you give us special stories, we're gonna generically share them. All right. So the next one. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. So one of the toughest roles in our company used to be insurance coordinator.
Yes.
And literally every month we had a new insurance coordinator. I had one person quit after 3 hours. That was a funny story.
One person went to the bathroom and never came back.
Yes. Insurance people are nice. We love them all. They're amazing people. It's been a tough role to fit. So I had an insurance coordinator who started with us, nice lady. Very, she seemed very kind and all that kind of stuff. So we hired her, right, Sabrina?
Mm-hmm.
And she's working. And then 2 weeks after starting her job, she starts, calling out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, what's going on? And then she sends us a long email. Oh, my daughter is in the hospital, a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, oh, we feel bad. Okay, no problem. Take your time. We'll figure things out here. You take care of your kid. And her daughter's like, in her 20s or something like that. So then this employee comes to work again and is, looks really sad and depressed. And we and I really care about our staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know our staff are really kind, sweet, loving people who we have the privilege of working with. And I really believe that when people work with us, they give us one of their most valuable resources, which is their time. And when people are at our company, and Sabrina and I really try to embody this, we really want to make sure they get the most out of it. And how do we do that? Everybody who works with us has special projects for growth so they can keep learning and developing. We do our best to accommodate people's schedules, and we do our best to give people a good life.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we know if people have a good life, then we will have a good life and everyone lives better, right? In life, Sabrina and I have both lived in various states, right? We've lived at times where we've had no money,
mm-hmm.
and times where we have a little bit more. And the money has never changed anything, right? How much or how little you have. The biggest thing, Sabrina, and I know I've shared this with you, but not all together. And I really realized this last night when I couldn't sleep because of this nice high quality air we have, is our happiness, up or down, has never been dependent on any items other than the quality of people in our lives and the quality of those relationships. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think for both of us, we're really sharing happiness. Other people's happiness makes us feel better. And that's why we love taking care of patients and doing our practice. We'll work 80, 90, 120 hours a week. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like fun. It's our passion because we are at our core, both of us, people pleasers. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. It's what we are. So anyway, so this employee is there and she's crying and sad and upset. So I'm like, okay, let's do a meeting. So we bring her in for a meeting and I'm like, hey, nice employee person. What's going on? She's like, oh, my daughter doesn't have money for rent and she's $800 behind. They're going to get evicted. She's sitting in the hospital asleep. So I'm like, okay, no problem. How can we help? She's like, oh, I don't know. There's nothing I can do. So then I told her, hey, nice employee I've known for 2 weeks. I'm happy to loan you $800. And then you can just pay us back like $100 every couple of weeks and we'll call it good. And she's crying. She's so happy. She's like, oh, no one's ever offered this to me. I can't believe you're doing this for me. I'm like, no, all good. No worries. God has blessed us. And me and Sabrina are, thank God, we're happy with our life. And if we can help you a little bit, why not? Right.
Mhm.
So then the accountant looks at me funny. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I feel bad. Whatever. It's $800, it's no big deal. And she's like, you shouldn't do this. I'm like, whatever. It's no big deal. Just help her out. So make her sign a little piece of paper that we're giving her $800. She'll pay us back $100 or something like that every month. And we give her the check. And then the next day doesn't show up. And I get this email saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sick, I'm coming. We're like, okay, no problem. Take another day. Maybe she got sick after getting the money. And then day number 2, the check clears. And then, because I'm like, can you clear the check? She's deposited it and the accountant's watching it. And then day number 2, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, my daughter is now coming out of the hospital. I got to help her. We're like, okay, no problem. And then radio silence for a week. And then we email her and send her a letter, be like, hey, what's going on? Are you coming to your job or you're not coming back? And can I have my $800 back? And she sends us a long letter about her life and everything. And then she says, oh, I didn't steal your $800, but I need time and things are weird for me. So we're like, whatever, ignore it, right? We just put it on the back burner. Then I'm like, figure out who this lady is. Like, we did a background check and everything. She passed, but I told my assistant, I say, can you look up our Instagram and Facebook? Is she like running around town having fun or what is she doing?
Yeah.
And then she looks her up on Instagram and this nice employee, just to give you a description, she's a lady who has 25, 30 years of experience, probably, in her late fifth decade of life. Nice lady, short lady, blonde hair. And so, we look up her Instagram and we find out that the day she called out sick, she was putting Instagram posts and videos of taking those boudoir pictures. You know what those are?
No.
It's those pictures in like a very little seductive clothing.
Oh,
Bourgeois. Yeah, bourgeois. Bourgeois pictures. So I'm like, what the heck? She took out, So I was like, that's a sight I did not want to see. And I try to get those pictures out of my head every day that I saw on Instagram. But anyway, so this lady disappeared and we lost the money. But nevertheless, it was a disappointment, but doesn't change what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
If someone asked me, would I do that again? I would say yeah. Mm-hmm. Because my intention was to help someone in need. Would you do that again, Sabrina?
Definitely, yeah.
It is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wash it away. And I think this is why a lot of employers get jaded. Because you have amazing employees, most of them. But the ones that really stand out, the ones that really you remember are people like this, who are, I would call this lady a con artist, right? Mm-hmm. I believe she lied about the whole kid situation just because she had some extracurriculars, and if your daughter's in the hospital, are you going to be taking those bourgeois or, illicit pictures? Doesn't add up. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she was never to be found again. And there goes the $800 I gave. No biggie. There'll be another day. So Sabrina, what's our third topic?
So our third topic is employees leaving on bad terms.
Ooh, you got to be careful about this one.
Yes, definitely.
So we have, I think we have at least 50 people that we work with now, right?
Yeah.
Between our offices and most of them amazing terms. Mm-hmm. But what happens sometimes?
Sometimes people, I don't know, they, I'm not saying they make up stories and stuff, but unfortunately they do. Some people will, make up stories and say certain things. And we've had employees in the past that have left on bad terms. And by bad terms, we mean not giving your notice, giving your notice and then stop showing up, giving your notice and then try using all of your sick time. Not really being sick.
Yeah, or basically like stealing or taking company property, not returning it.
Yeah, we had one that put her notice in, called out sick the next day, and kept saying that she was sick, and then on Instagram was posting pictures at a bar.
It's ridiculous. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah, that was so dumb.
Yeah, that was not nice. And
so if you're gonna call out sick, can we just I love our staff. Please, know that Instagram is public. And even if you have a private profile, odds are
you're following someone or someone's following you from the office.
Exactly. And as much as nice and friendly you think your friends are, I can tell you now that they tell us everything.
Yes. The word comes around and the gossip goes around. You know how that is.
Yes, absolutely.
We hear everything from here to there.
Drinking a flight of beers and telling us you have food poisoning the day before doesn't add up.
It sure doesn't.
Or at least change the date on your tag, right? At least be a little bit creative.
Put TBT or something.
Exactly. Oh God, I remember that lady's picture. That was something else.
Yeah. But yeah, we've had I wouldn't say many, I would say handful, I have employees that I've left on bad terms, and it's really surprising when these individuals will leave on bad terms and not give their notice or make up lies and not show up to work and so forth. And
we had somebody who told us that they wanted to quit because they wanted to be a volunteer on the COVID front lines.
Yes.
So, and basically they had a notice requirement. So, and they owed us some money for other things. So we're like, you know what? If you're going to go help COVID, no problem. Mm-hmm. You can literally, we'll waive stuff. We'll make it happen. Don't worry about the stuff. Just send us some kind of document that says you're going to go help COVID, right? This is a pandemic. This is not normal life right now. And then what happened after that?
And they could not, unfortunately, provide any documentation.
And then we find out they're working at a hospital literally across the street.
Yes.
Come on. You think we're not going to see you walk into the hospital across the street?
Yeah.
That was something else. I know.
Another employee definitely saw them walk into the hospital across the street from our office. It's a small world, okay? No, you can't hide.
No, you can't hide. And life happens, right? Like, we don't like it. Sometimes we let people go, and sometimes people find different opportunities that are a better fit for them. And nobody feels bad. It's okay. You do what you got to do. Take care of you. We're going to take care of us. Let's all be fair, right? Mm-hmm. When we make a commitment to someone that says, hey, we're going to give you a paycheck every 2 weeks, we're giving you that paycheck. Mm-hmm. At the same time, if you make a commitment with us that, hey, I'm going to give you guys so much notice, and then you want to get out of that, it's not fair.
Yeah.
Just like it's fair for us to give a paycheck, it's fair for you to work with the team, and we all keep our word. And so if you have something else isn't fitting for you and someone else is going somewhere, just make it clean and everyone can be happy.
Yeah, there's no reason to lie and to make up stories and to do whatever. I mean, you can vouch for this, but you know how small the healthcare world is.
Absolutely. And I'll get phone calls all the time about old people. So Sabrina, what do we do with people when they leave on bad terms? When we get references and applications for stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we follow the law. We give the information that we're required to, but I wouldn't expect anything more than that. I would say
definitely no good reference. I mean, isn't that we're not? I'm going to follow the law. We're going to follow the great laws of this amazing state. But I wouldn't use me as a positive reference. What about you, Sabrina? Are you gonna be a positive reference? Someone who didn't pay rent or they pay me $100 back?
Yeah, definitely not. So if you're gonna leave on bad terms and you're going to not fulfill your notice requirement or make up lies and so forth, I wouldn't put a lure on your reference list.
No, definitely not. All right. So our last topic for today.
Yes. Patients that, are overweight.
Obesity is a difficult thing, right? It's something I personally have struggled with.
I saw that baby picture.
Yes, my kid picture. So when I was a kid, I came from Africa to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and so I was in public school there, and I was a big kid. So when I was born 3 pounds 2 ounces. My mom reminds me of that. She told me I look like a little rat, but in a nice, cute way, So they fed me a lot of egg yolks when I was a kid. And these egg yolks made me very big.
Egg yolks and whole milk. Whole milk.
Yeah, half and half, like all that kind of stuff. So basically, I became a heavy kid. I loved eating. And when I got in public school at lunchtime, so I was probably, like, just so you guys know, I was probably 4 feet, maybe easy 160. Yeah, big. So obese, definitely obese, BMI 35 or greater, that's what it was. So at lunchtime, the way I supported my weight is I used to love eating, and I used to take food that other people didn't like and trade. So at lunchtime, right? You pay 85 cents for your daily meal. That's how much it was in the 90s. And I remember at my school, it was a school not in the best area. We didn't have much money. We were pretty poor. So it was a rough school. But
What did you trade?
So the meals were unique there. My favorite item that I thought was chicken because I don't eat pork was mock chicken leg. I loved mock chicken leg. Mock chicken leg with this potato-like scoop with this yellow gravy. Oh, it was amazing. So, but they only used to give you one piece that was literally the size of a little rectangle, like a piece of cheese. And I wanted more. So I used to trade at lunch. So the leaner, skinny kids, athletic kids, not me, always loved ice cream and sweets. So I would trade my chocolate milk or my orange sherbet ice cream. We got those little cups. I don't know if you remember ever having those for mock chicken leg, mashed potatoes. And usually I could do like a 3-for-1. So I'd be like, hey, bro, you don't want that chicken leg, got some ice cream for you. And I could do the trade. And they would usually give me chicken leg, but mashed potato, and then whatever other side item they had. So I was like, this is a great deal. And then a lot of the thinner kids, they just didn't like it. So I would just get all their food. And so I used to eat a lot, and weight kept going up. And I remember one day, Mrs. Gilbert, who was the teaching assistant there who taught me English. I didn't know English when I came to America. I was in the special class. She's seeing me trade all this. And this day was a really good day for me, right? It was like the market was flying high. I was trading up. I probably had 4 mock chicken legs on my plate. And she comes to me. She's like, Javad, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just eating these mock chicken legs. Something like that in my broken English, incoherently. And she sits me down. She's like, you shouldn't be eating this much, and you're not allowed to trade food. Everybody has to eat their own. And, your weight could be a problem.
I guess I didn't have that problem.
No. So I say this story to let people know that, I really respect people who struggle with that. I struggled with it for a long time and still up and down, but I try to, I'm really strict about my food, and Sabrina really helps me with that. So in this, when we take care of patients, we believe in safety first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We own 2 surgery centers. One of our surgery centers is on the 6th floor of a building.
Mm-hmm.
And because of restrictions, there are limits on what we can do for surgery regarding weight.
Correct.
So I do many consults every day. And I remember, I had a patient who had some medical comorbidities or medical problems, and their weight was 400 pounds. And I'm doing my consultation with this really nice patient, and I share with them, happy to help you with surgery, but the weight is too high, it's unsafe, and there's these other medical problems that would restrict me from doing surgery for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the patient became very upset,
mm-hmm.
very upset. And they basically got up, said, I am leaving. I can't believe you talked to me about weight loss, and stormed out.
Oh my God.
Didn't even let me talk further. Stormed out, slammed my office door open. I was like, oh my goodness, something else. So anyway, so then that's over. And then the patient, is unhappy and writes bad reviews all over Google and Yelp and I don't know where else there are, probably everywhere, saying, Dr. Sajan, and these are the patient words, doesn't like, I never use the word fat. I don't like that word. I think it's a bad word. I was called fat so many times. So I think it's very derogatory. And basically, so this patient says Dr. Sajan doesn't like fat people, long story short. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I myself was very heavy. I love all people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I relate with people, but I can't do surgery if it's unsafe.
No.
For example, at our surgery center, if there was an earthquake or fire and the patient's asleep, we have to take the patient down the stairs.
Yeah.
So, our staff are all
6 flights of stairs.
6 flights of stairs on the 6th floor, and our patient, our staff are nice, but many of our staff are women, and they're not capable of lifting that much weight down the stairs. So if we have somebody who's 300-400 pounds, how are we going to take them down the stairs?
Yeah,
can't do
it. We have to literally take it's like a bed that folds up.
Yeah.
And you put the patient on there, and you have to carry the patient 6 flight of stairs.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's one issue.
This is a requirement. We have to be able to do it.
Exactly. It's a requirement by the Department of Health, and we know we get inspected all the time. Beyond that, there's other safety issues when you're considering weight and surgery. And I believe many of the surgeries I do are medically necessary surgeries and they need to get done, they should get done. With that, safety is always important. Mm-hmm. And you have to look at the patient as a whole. When you give someone feedback that isn't exactly what they expect, taking it so internally, I think, is sometimes wrong. Mm-hmm. If I was your doctor, and you came to me for an operation, I felt I could do it better in a more ideal situation, and I shared that with you. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be judgmental.
Mhm.
I'm trying to help and do the best I can. At the end of the day, the surgeries I do are medically necessary, many of them. Some of them are cosmetic also, but they are elective. Elective means they are voluntary. I am not doing surgery to do a bypass on someone so they live 5 more days. We are doing elective surgeries to give people a better quality of life and all these other things that are really important that I believe in. With that, we can't not jeopardize someone's life and safety for an elective operation if we can make it more ideal.
Mhm.
Now, sometimes that is impossible, and there's exceptions to every rule, and I believe that. With that, I really share with people that if you get feedback at a consultation with me, that sometimes might not be what you want to hear, I can tell you that it's not what I want to say, but it's what I have to say.
Yeah.
When you're somebody's doctor, your goal isn't just to cut and stitch. Your goal is, for me, I believe it's to treat the whole person. When somebody comes for me for surgery, the question for me isn't, can I do the surgery? Thank God, with God's grace, I can do surgery on anybody for anything. The real question, Sabrina, is what can I do to make this person happy, give them a good life, and contribute to them without giving them high risk?
Yeah.
And that's the real question, right? When you're new out of school, your goal is operate and just try to get cases. And this is not when you're coming to me, you're not coming to, rookie of the year here. I've done it before. I know what's right. I'm going to help you. At the same time, I have to put your safety first. And sometimes I know you're not going to like it, but I may tell you something that's not ideal, but it's best for you. My goal here is not to do as many surgeries as I can. I don't want to do the most I can. Absolutely not. But what we want to do is the best we can. And that's a very important distinction. I love my patients all. And without them, there's no way we would be able to do as much as we do. And because I love them so much, I will not jeopardize their safety to do an operation, period.
Mm-hmm. And I think this happens often, not just with surgical patients. I think sometimes with non-surgical patients, we get this this type of behavior as well, when our injector sometimes will tell, for example, a lip filler patient that they do not need more filler in their lips. Sometimes people will come to us and their lips are already filled and they've already had 2-3 syringes in their lips, and they demand the injector to put another syringe in their lips. And a lot of times the injector will, say that this is not the right thing for you. And we've had times when patients have gotten upset, but we're trying to do the right thing here. And I would, if the provider, injector, whoever that is does not feel that you are right for that procedure, treatment, surgery, then you should take that positively.
Exactly. And sometimes it's better to find a different provider. Not every provider is a fit for every patient. When I get my hair cut, right, or when you get your hair colored, right, right, you oftentimes it takes more than one to find the right person, and that's okay, and that's life. You're not going to be able to touch everyone the way they want to be touched, or whatever you want to say for that. But the bottom line is you want to do the best you can for the people you can serve, and that's what this is all about. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a free world out there. You want to go on Yelp and Google and whatever other site and say something mean or nasty, do it. No one's going to stop you. It makes you feel good, makes you feel like a big person. Go ahead. At the end of the day, we're going to do what's right.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just remember what's right and why that provider or injector or doctor said that to you. Think about it.
Karma is also very nasty.
Sure is.
So that was an amazing episode. So many different things that happened. Don't you think so, Sabrina?
Yeah, a lot of things.
Overall, I think the bottom line is we're so blessed to be able to take care of so many amazing people. And sometimes the stories that stick out are the ones that are the most unique, and sharing those is a lot of fun. Thanks for listening to Clinic Talk on the Plastic Surgeon Podcast. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts to hear more great content.
Tune in next time for more Clinic Talk. We have some more great stories coming soon.
For my live surgeries on Snapchat and my adventures throughout the week, catch us on all social media at realdrseattle.
See you next time. Bye.
Bam what?